get this thing rolling right now, man. All right, so Josh, you here, brother?
I think I'm here unless somebody stole my face this morning. That tends to happen on the Wednesday.
My man, good to see you. So guys, this is Josh. I'm gonna turn it over to him in just a second, but give you guys a little backstory on Josh. Josh is a 2 Club Award winner. He's an entrepreneur. He's an options and business coach, and he's also the founder of the Option Snipers University, a stock options trading, community where, they have a goal to help close the financial gap in the USA, right? So the dude is the truth, man. He knows how to make some money. He's made a little bit of it. And he came to give you guys some gems and some fire. So, Josh, I'm gonna leave it up. I'm gonna leave it on you now, man. You got it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you. First of all, let's give my bro over here, Bobby, a hand, because he's doing an amazing job. And that song you had, it had me so pumped. I wanted to go hop in the ice chamber or something like that. I don't know whether any of you guys ever did any of that, but it's one of the most painful things you can experience until you actually go through it. So let me get a chance or a feel for who's in the room today, okay? So if you're somebody who's a beginner closer, or you've closed or done any type of sales before in your life, type 1 in the chat. Go ahead, type 1 in the chat. Okay, David, 1. I see it. Tim, 1. Okay, so you guys have been in the business. You know what you're doing. Okay, awesome. 1, Malika 1, McKay 1. Okay, so you guys are the pros of the pros. Okay, you guys invested in yourself to be here. See, a little bit about me, guys. I don't know whether you guys know this. Okay, but
on there, man.
Put my picture on there. Okay, hope you guys can see me. But yeah, can you guys see me? If you can see me, just wave at the camera. Just make sure you can see me. Awesome. Just so you know who's talking to you guys, I was not a salesman by choice or by chance. Okay. Matter of fact, my career was a nurse. Okay. I started out as an ER nurse. In 2012, I graduated from nursing school. In 2014, I got my first ER job as a nurse, and I was making $45,000 a year. Okay. And I had a wife and 2 kids. How many of you guys know on the $45,000 a year salary with 2 kids, you have to find a way to make some extra money? If you believe that's true, there's the chance say that's true. You need some extra money, $45,000 a year. Okay. And this is working 12-hour shifts. So I knew something needed to change, but I didn't know what it was until I learned or got into this skill called selling. Okay, sales was the big thing for me. I had to learn how to sell. I was staying up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and there was this guy with slick hair. He came on the teleprompter like they always do, and he said, guys, if you want to change your life for the better, I have this yacht, this mansion, all from selling. You need to learn how to sell. And me being from Nigeria, I was like, sounds simple enough. Let me go and try to sell something. I created a digital marketing agency, and I got a sale, but it took me 700 sales calls. My first sale came after 700 sales calls. And these weren't 15-minute calls. This was an hour to 2 hours of calls trying to close somebody on a $2,500 package. Now I sell $30,000 to $50,000 packages, and I do it in a quarter of the time, right? So what was the difference? It took me from making $3,000 and it took 700 sales calls to now where on Friday I just had $1 million day. Right? Where I sold 20 people into a program at about 35K each and had $1 million day. The one word is going to change your life as a salesperson is this. Write this down. Price marinade. Write that down in the chat. Price marinade. Like you marinate your chicken or your turkey, whatever protein you eat. That's the marinade I learned, okay? This one thing. No, seriously, you guys have to marinate your prospect. I just want to cook them. I want to cook them, eat them, dice them up. You got to marinate it first. Put some onions in there, some peppers. That's how you have to. You got to season up your prospects and get them ready for the sale. And it took me about 7 years to learn this technique. And on top of that, I paid my mentor $155,000 to learn it. Okay, so that's my background. That's where I came from. And by the way, this will be my $4th $1 million day in a year. So this is not something that I've just done once. I've done it several times over and over and over again. So like Jay-Z said, first time might have been a fluke. The second time, it's a process. Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys that process today. If it's okay for me to teach you the process, so type in the chat, say it's okay, Josh.
It's okay, Josh.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
I can teach you guys how to be a nurse too. Whichever one you guys want to learn, I can teach it to you. Okay, so nurse or $1 million days, the choice is up to you. Okay, the problem I was making as a salesperson comes down to one sentence. Okay, and the sentence is this: I was trying to sell my prospects. The mistake that most salespeople make is they're trying to sell their prospect. And this one statement changed everything for me. Here it is. You have to create an environment where they feel like buying. I'm going to say that again. It's so key, not went past your head, okay? The secret to selling high ticket sales, whether it's 2,000, 5,000, 30,000, 50,000, I've sold 125K packages, guys, is you have to create an environment where they feel like buying. Just like when you're cooking your turkey, you put it in an oven, and the oven is the environment, and the baking takes care of itself. So how do you, as a salesman, do that? Okay, it's some of the things you guys might have heard before, but maybe you're not just implementing it in the right way. As you guys can see, I have a little bit of an accent, and I thought for the longest time, that's the reason why I wasn't selling. So I did what any logical internet entrepreneur would do. I used the voice changer to sound like this. Hello, my name is Josh. How can I help you today? And that didn't work either. And I tried to go with a deeper voice. That didn't work either. So it wasn't my voice, obviously, okay? One of the things I was doing was I was giving price before I gave value. Okay, I was giving price before I gained value. So I'll give an example of this, guys. When I was selling my agency, I had 1K packages, 2K a month. Then I jumped all the way to $15,000 setup fee and then 5K a month. And one of the things I did is that I always showed them the higher packages. Always compare what package you want to sell to a higher package. What do I mean by that? So I just did a price marinade to you guys. You guys don't even know it. I started by saying this. I paid my mentor $155,000 to join his program. Some of you guys, that's a lot. For some people, that's a little, right? But by introducing that number to you, now a 10 or 20K package seems low in comparison. So what you have to do is use your life story and other people's life story in an example to sell your prospects. So on your next sales calls, you can say something like, hey man, I understand this is an investment. I was just talking to my friend Josh the other day. He spent $155,000 for his coaching program. So compared to ours, I mean, this is just a drop in the bucket. Just by saying that sentence, you have automatically married the price of your product or whatever you're selling to something that's much higher ticket. And now it puts your customer at ease. Because as humans, guess what? Our brain is hardwired to compare. Does that make sense? Is it okay if I go through this, Bobby, or should I just do motivational stuff? It's up to you.
Bro, you good, man. You good.
I like giving gems, right? Because as a closer, I want to learn how to sell. I went to a lot of motivational seminars and they were great, but I want to know, like, how did you get to where you are today? As a closer, how do you close these high ticket packages, right? And it's all about creating the environment. So you need to write this down as well, guys. People never buy from fact, they always buy from feelings. Write that down. Another one. Everything a human does is because they feel like it. Okay, I've been trying to go to the gym for a year and I still haven't gotten around to feeling like it. Okay.
Looks strong up here. Though.
I'm telling you, yeah, that's why I always keep my camera chest up. Okay, I never do it stomach down. Okay, chest up, I look like at least I go to the gym once or twice a week. Okay. No, but it's so crazy because I know all the intellectual facts about losing weight. I know all the health benefits about going to the gym more regularly, and you maybe look swole like Tim Crane here. Okay, I know everything. Nah, but you're ripped up top. I like it. I know everything that needs to be known about the process of losing weight, but yet I still can't find myself to go to the gym. Okay, it's because of a human desire that's built in us, and it's by feeling. Most humans are controlled by their feelings. So unless you get to a place where you're getting their emotions to talk to you, to speak to you, and to sell for you, it's going to be hard for you to close that sale. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys on this call, if I know Mike, he's giving you guys a script and he's trained you very well on that script. You guys have a script, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. What you have to do to any script you have is you have to find a way to inject emotion into that script. And one of the best ways to do that, I'll give you one of the ones I do. The first thing I do is to take it away from them. Every human, unless they're Jeff Bezos, and even he does, always has a feeling of insecurity. They never feel like they're enough. I thought when I hit several $1 million a day, I would feel like I was enough. Then I meet people who make $10 million in a day. Now I'm like, damn, I need to get to work. You know, I thought I made it, right? So every human at every level always has something they want to achieve. So when given the script, the one thing I always do is I pull the offer away. And I do it like this. Hey, I believe you're a smart person. If it doesn't make sense for you to change your life, don't do it. If it does, do it. I'm not here to neither convince you, force you, or coerce you. I'm just here to present the information to be able to help you make a buying decision. Because guess what? If they're on the call with you, they want to buy anyways. And what they're looking for is a reason to either say yes or no. And you can attack their objections head on. For example, hey, so tell me your objection, Mr. Prospect. Oh, my objection is, well, I don't think it's going to work. And then you can try to address that objection, but that's a reactive selling. What you want to do is proactive selling, okay? And every conversation you have with the seller from the beginning of the call to the end is introducing stories that elicit emotion to handle that objection. So type in the chat, what are the top 4 objections you guys get in the chat? Let's see. Price, time, it doesn't work. I can't afford this. Perfect. Money. Costs too much. Okay. This is typical. I need to talk to my spouse. That spouse one gets me every time. Okay. I need to talk to my spouse. Okay. So these are typical objections that any salesperson gets. In my presentation, I always preempt these objections. What do I mean? I'll say, hey guys, let me ask you guys a question. Anybody in the audience, how many of you guys have bought something that you can't afford and figured it out later? A watch, a car, a toy. See, most people raise their hand, okay? And did you have to ask your wife for permission before you did that? No, no, you didn't. The reason is you decided to commit first and figure the rest out later. And Mr. Prospect, the people that are most successful in this program had that same attitude. They commit first and they figure out the rest later. Why? Because success loves speed. When I introduce that idea to a concept, that idea and concept to a prospect, I've done 3 things. Number 1, I handled the objection in a story. Number 2, I got them to admit that they've done that same exact situation before, but on something that's frivolous like a car or a toy. But number 3, I introduced them a pre-frame, a new mindset to take on that will make them a better person. Because guess what? Selling is one of the best things we do for our prospect. Because not only does it deliver the product that they need and they want, but it actually transforms them to the person who can keep the promise and the transformation you gave them. Because whether you're selling a make money offer, whether you're selling a relationship offer, whether you're selling a coaching offer, once you get your prospect to that destination, they have to be the person to maintain that level of success. I'll give you an example. When I was younger in high school, I was not so good with the ladies. And if there are any ladies in this chat, please forgive me. I'm gonna just tell you my story, okay? I was not good with the ladies, so I went on YouTube. That didn't work. And then I saw an ad, and this guy had all these, it was like the 72 magic pickup lines to get the woman of your dreams, okay? How many guys have ever heard this one? Did it hurt? Who knows the end of that? Did it hurt? Type it in the chat. If you know the end of that, type that in the chat. Did it hurt? What's the end of that pickup line? All my fellas know it. Exactly. Where you fell from heaven, y'all got it. Where you fell from heaven. I always use that pickup line so much, so much. And for real, it never worked. Well, let me not say never worked. it worked maybe 2 out of 100 times. So the person in the course taught consistency. If you talk to 100 girls and you give that line, you get 2 of them to talk to you. And sure enough, he was right. Okay, and a lot of us have heard the same advice when it comes to sell. If you talk to 100 people, sure enough, you get 2 people to buy. But I increased my conversation and my close rate with the ladies when I stopped using lines and I started using emotions. The problem with that is when those 2 girls answered the initial question, they was like, oh, that's cute, that's funny, a little corny. I didn't know what to say next. I'm like, well, so what's your name, Josh? What's your name, Cindy? Nice to meet you, Cindy. Did not walk away like a loser, okay? And trust me, it wasn't fun. And most guys, you guys know what I'm talking about. Exactly.
It hurts.
It hurts. It hurts bad. Okay?
That is good stuff.
and you know what's so funny? The lady, and here's one thing that I learned, right? When you're picking up a woman, just like in sales, when you do it right, it's an enjoyable process for both people. So I was building up the hype of this person who knew what he was doing and knew the lines, and I just disappointed them in the end, and then I lost the girl anyways. So when we're helping our prospect achieve the transformation that they need, you have to help them become who they need to be to attain and keep that level of success. And the way to do that is to change who they are up here first. And you do that even at the beginning from the selling process by introducing some of those concepts that I taught you. Number 1, success loves speed, right? Here's another one I hear a lot, right? A get rich quick what? You guys know that. Scheme, perfect, okay? So it seems like we all had the same math teacher. We've all heard that before, right? So instead of saying this is not a get rich quick scheme, I actually tell my prospect, you're absolutely right. This actually is a get rich quick scheme. And they'll be like, what? What did you say to me? Number 1, I caught their attention. I took them off guard. They understand that this is a different call than they've ever been on before. Then I said the following thing. I said, sir, the only way to get rich is quick because time is measured more, because wealth is measured more in time than it is in money.
Ooh. Bar.
See?
Wow.
I just introduced another prefab, another concept. So I'm literally changing my prospect on the sales call. I'm giving them a new identity. And by the way, I'm teaching them the truth. Because guess what? I'll ask you guys in the chat, is $1 million a lot of money?
Yes.
Okay, some people say
Depends on
yeah.
how fast you make
Not
it.
really.
Depends on how
Not
fast
really.
you make it.
Exactly, it depends on how fast
It
you
is.
make it. If you make 25K over
Ain't for
40
somebody
years,
that's a millionaire.
you've made $1 million. 25K over 40 years, that's $1 million. If you make $1 million in a year, you're considered rich. $1 million in a month, you're richer. $1 million in a day, that's a pretty good day. Okay.
Mhm.
So wealth is actually measured more in time than it is in money. That's why
Sure
wealth
is.
has a need for speed.
Mhm.
Right? So I tell my prospects, the longer you wait to achieve your goals, and by the way, it doesn't have to be with us, it can be with anybody else, but the longer it is, the poorer you become. Because guess what? The purpose of time was never to make money. The purpose of time was to look for opportunities to multiply.
Okay, can you say those last 2 bars again? That was perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was great.
The longer
Mhm.
you wait to achieve your goals, one.
The
The
more you
longer,
become,
yeah, the poorer you become.
Mm.
Because guess what? Every single day and every single second, you're either becoming poorer or richer. You just don't know it.
Oh.
The actualization of your time actually becomes resulted when you either get your paycheck or when you get paid.
Mm.
And I tell people, the difference, whether you know it or not, you're a salesperson. The difference between you and me is that you were able to sell one person on your value. I'm able to sell millions of people on my value at the same time.
Mm. That's where it's at, man. That's where it's at.
So as you're talking to your prospects, these are things you want to start injecting the principles. And guess what? You don't have to say it exactly the way I say it. I recommend it. I've worked on it for some time, as you can tell, right? But as long as you're hitting the principles and you're hitting these mental triggers with your prospects, you're transforming them to be the person. And then in the call, they take on the identity. And the question is not, okay, should I buy or should not buy? The question is, how do I pay? Is it wired, credit card, or check? And most of my calls always end that way. Would that be Visa or MasterCard?
Mm.
Okay, Visa or MasterCard or Amex. I do Amex now too. Visa and MasterCard.
Nice.
I know somebody raised their hand. I'll start asking questions in 10 minutes. Okay, I just want to make sure I give you guys as much value as possible. Okay, number 3, spouse objection. Okay, here's a big one. I have to talk to my wife. Okay, no problem. You have to talk to her. I totally get that. You have to talk to your wife. I understand that. Out of curiosity, okay, has there been any decisions you've ever made without your wife in the last 24, 48 hours? Good. Said, I know for me, if my wife wanted to buy a house on the way home, she could do that. And if she told me what she did, I'll say, hey, show me where the house is, honey. Which color are we using? And guess what? I've been married for 10 years. Okay. And the example that I'm teaching my prospect is your marriage is not dependent on her making the decision with you. She's there to support you and help you make the best decision for your family.
Mhm.
Or he, if you're a woman. Okay. I'm a guy. So are there any women in here? First of all, let me know so I can make sure.
Yeah, man, we got a few of them in here.
After I started talking about pickup lines, all the women left the chat. Pickup lines? What's going on here? Okay. Right? So I'm using that to overcome I need to talk to my spouse objection. Because guess what? Your partner, whether male or female, is there to support you anyways. And I'll say this, is there an amount that you're willing to put down that your spouse will support you in making this decision with to change your life and hers or his? And they'll give me a number. Whether that's 500, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 with a deposit. So, okay, how about this? We lock you down at that price, okay? You have a conversation with your spouse, okay? And then we can go from there. And if you like, I can hop on a call with them as well. Okay. And then number 3, I always include, I'll talk about the price marinade. I always include the price marinade by showing them my highest packages first. Okay. And I don't know whether you guys do this, but this is something that I do. I want to go and create a $250,000 offer. Why did I do that? I don't expect to sell much of it. Okay. I've had somebody want to buy it from me. And there's a lot of fulfillment. You create a $250,000 offer or whatever. Let's say you have a $10,000 package. You create a $30,000 package. And I always show them that first. And the reason is that higher package shown next to the middle or lower one makes the other two seem more attractive. Because guess what? Price is always a relative thing.
So price condition.
Yeah, price conditioning, exactly.
Nice. That's dope.
Exactly,
Okay.
price conditioning. And also, throw out big numbers on your call, regardless of what it is, to help your prospect gear up for the close. So for example, I use my $155,000 mastermind. You can use a 30K mastermind or a 50, or you can say, oh yeah, I know, who's a Tony Robbins just had an event where the entry price for the ticket was $35,000. That's something me and my wife are thinking about. You always want to keep throwing those numbers at your prospect so that they realize that investing in yourself at any level, especially at a higher level, is best for them. But more importantly, that what you're offering is actually a huge discount based on the value that they're going to get. Okay.
Okay, nice.
Okay. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys, and I'm going to ask you some questions here. So that handles it costs too much. We talked about the wife objection. What's the next one?
There was either their time or they didn't think it was going to work.
Exactly. So when I talk about the fact that wealth is measured more in time, that also takes care of that objection as well. It's not going to work. Perfect. I love that objection. So what I'll say, I'm on the phone, it's like, hey, Mr. and Miss, or if I'm on the video, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, listen, can I be honest with you? Cool. Awesome. I know you're thinking, is this going to work or is this not going to work? Let's be honest, is that true? Is that something that you're thinking? It's like, yes, I'm thinking that. Said, can I submit something to you? Is that okay if I coach you a little bit? Say, yes, because my job is here is to coach you and make you the best version of yourself. So you already know what will happen if it doesn't work. Okay, what do you mean? Say, you're living it right now.
Oh, bro.
You're living it right now.
One rude boy.
Fire, baby.
Living
That's
it
fire.
right now.
That's like
Damn,
fire.
that was tough. That was tough.
And
That's
here's
fire.
it's the truth. Most people
That's fire.
don't have an access problem, they have an awareness problem. You have to bring into awareness their pain. Like the reason you're on this call is because the life you're living right now is not what you want to live. And guess what? Whatever payment this program is, at whatever level of investment, it's better than where you are now. And guess what? Even if you get 1/10 of the result we're promising, your life will be 2, 3, 4, 5 times better than it is now. Won't you agree?
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
Yes.
That was tough.
So I'm here to help you change your life. Because guess what? I'm not here to force this on you. This is a change that we're going to do together. Because at the end of the journey, you're going to be so proud of what you've accomplished. You're going to tell your family, you're going to tell your kids. And guess what? You can pass the skill on to the next generation. So your investment, your decision today will be a game changer. Because it only takes one big decision to have a huge effect on your life.
Yeah.
Are you able to do this jump together? All right, cool, Larry.
Oh my gosh. Keep your girl away, guys. This guy's powerful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Listen,
Dropping it.
I'm woke. I already know. Nah.
listen. Don't let me get started on talking to girls. That's a whole other call. Okay,
Uh-oh.
I
I
put
am
that
to
one
cook.
separate from my
Got
fellas.
Josh's plates to go.
Listen, my pickup game now is crazy. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if fat, skinny, blue, white, black, gray. I can pick them up. Okay. So yes,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Somebody say one more time, please. What do you want me to repeat, Skylar?
I think that whole bar, the whole objection handling.
The whole objection. Oh my
The
goodness.
whole, the last one, the last one at least.
So I always say something like this, like, listen, even if you get 1/10 of the result we're promising this program, your life will be 2, 3 times better than it is now. And guess what? This might not be the investment to get you your $10 or $50 million yacht, but I promise you this is going to get you one step closer. And that you're giving the prospect something to hang on to. They feel comfortable about the sale, and you're not over promising them anything. You're not telling them that this is going to be the thing that, changes everything for them, but you're saying, hey, at least you get a chance, right? Because guess what? A lot of us went to school and nobody in school taught me or gave me the opportunity to at least have a 5-figure day. There's no degree that teaches you something that gives you the ability to have a 5-figure day. In sales, you can easily have 5-figure days. Very easy, right? I went to school as a nurse. I was going to become a doctor. Then I saw that they made $12K a month. Hell no. So I make $12K a month. My student loans are $2,500 a month. I have to work pretty much nonstop. And I'm like $5, $6K a month after that, just so I can say I'm a doctor. I'm not the smartest Bob in the tool shed, but something's not adding up there, right? Something's not adding up there. And I usually give those examples to my prospects, right? And this could be 30, 45 minutes. And guess what? These things I'm giving you, take some time to incorporate them into your sales. Take one at a time, one of the lines, one of the objections, incorporate them. And over time, you'll be able to squish all those objections, all those stories in 45 minutes.
Nice.
Right? 45 minutes. And guess what? If you guys have the opportunity to sell in a group, it's one of the best things you can ever do. This is why. Everybody wants to do what everybody's doing, and nobody wants to do what nobody's doing. What do I mean by that? If you are in a group and you sell one person, the second person is likely to buy increases about 70%. So me, when I have a husband and wife on the phone, I love that. Because guess what? If a husband's on the phone and their wife or a spouse is on the phone together, if I close one, they're going to close themselves. I have a 90% close ratio with families, right? Because if they both hear my presentation, somebody's going to convince the other one that it's a win, especially if you get the wife. Send over the contract immediately. Send over the contract immediately. Number 2, as salespeople, one of the things that increase my authority is this. hey, once we get started today, if it's a good fit, I said this at the beginning of the call. If it's a good fit, I'll have my assistant send over
Nice.
the work and we can get this wrapped up. Okay. There's a scripture in the book of Proverbs, and this is not meant to be religious at all, and it says like this. It said, a rich man with a servant is better than a poor man with nothing to eat. And the lesson in that story is this, that if you have somebody helping you in your journey as a salesperson in your business, it increases your authority and you're most likely to close the sale. So one of the first things that I got as a closer when I started making more sales, I want to go get an assistant to send paperwork. And it was in the Philippines. I paid her like $2.50 an hour. It wasn't expensive by any means, okay? And I only used her just to send contracts. And that alone increased my authority and my closing percentage started to go up. Right? Why don't I do paperwork
Nice.
on the call? I try to do it, but again, it's just the fact that I'm doing everything myself. I want to increase my authority and position in the marketplace. If you have somebody working under you, the prospect will respect you more subconsciously.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So I'll usually end the call like this, right?
Nice.
And guess what? My assistant has all my calls for the day. So sending the paperwork takes like 2 minutes. I'll just text her on Slack. It's like, hey, send the paperwork to Jim. Okay. And I was like, hold on, let me tell Andrew to send you the paperwork right now. Send the paperwork to Jim, boom. And while we're on the call, within 3 minutes, she sent it over. Right? That increases my authority in the marketplace. Just another gem you guys can use as a salesperson to increase your likelihood of closing that call.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna chill out because there's a lot more I can share with you guys, but I know it's 20 minutes and this actually leave like 20, 30 minutes. I'll ask any questions you guys have. I don't know what order you want to do this in. You guys can let me know what you want to do.
Yeah, Justin, go ahead, man.
Oh, thank you, sir. So just a quick question about
Coming in right now.
instead of like the handle or the close for it, right? Can you run through the idea methodology of like using the story and emotional to sell concept? And how do you do the feel felt found concept with the story with the customer, or do you do something on a whole nother psychological does that make sense?
Oh, feel felt found is a good one. I do
There.
feel felt found a lot. So I feel you. This is what we found. Okay, then you come to a agreement together. I like using PPP. Okay, picture parable principle. So what is the number one selling?
How does that go?
Picture parable principle. Okay, what's the number one selling book of all time or books of all time?
The Bible.
The
The
Bible,
Bible. Okay.
always.
Why do you think the Bible is full of stories and parables? Because that is the way humans understand and process information the best. So if I can take a principle, wrap it in a story, a parable, okay, and give the prospect a picture, that will convey the message a whole lot more easier. And not only would they get it on a conscious level, they'll get it on a subconscious level. So you can feel felt found, but add a story in there to inject emotion.
An example of that whole picture parable principle thing that you're talking about, like.
Okay, you want to give you an example. So let's say I gave you guys a principle, right? And that is time is greater than money. Okay. I gave you guys a principle about it. I said wealth is measured more in time than it is in money. Then I gave you guys a picture. How did I do that? Or parable? Well, if you make $1 million a year, are you rich? No. Great. Okay. Because 25,000 times 40 years, that's $1 million. So I gave you the parable there, the picture there. Again, I gave you the principle. I gave you the picture by explaining it. And then I gave you the okay. If you want to use another one, I'll give you an example just off the top of my head here. I'll say this, okay? I'll say, have you guys ever seen a flying chicken? It doesn't have to make sense. I'm just making this all the time. Have you ever seen a flying chicken? Why don't chickens fly? They say, I don't know why chickens don't fly, okay? Because it doesn't give them the greatest advantage to succeed. They weren't made for that. And I understand you're struggling to make this decision. And it's because you're doing something for so long that hasn't put you in the best position to succeed. Thomas Edison said this. Here's the principle right here. And then you can give a quote. Thomas Edison said this. I haven't learned how to succeed one time. I've learned 1,000 ways not to make the light bulb. And it seems that you've been learning a lot of ways not to make money. Okay. Well, congrats, you've come to the right place. Here, we're money makers. We know how to make money. How can I want me to prove that to you? Look at all our testimonials. So I've just imprinted in them that principle that not only do we make money, number two, they need to get in our community because we give them the best chance for success. And number three, everything else that they're trying is most likely going to fail. And that story took me 10 seconds to give. Right? So you guys need to have stories, like write down your objection. And this is where the work comes in. Write down 2 or 3 or 4 stories that handle each objection, memorize them, practice delivering them really quick, especially if you have customer student success stories, incorporate that in your successes, write them real quick, it increases your sale 1,000%. Easy.
Love that.
So I hope that answers your question.
Nice. Thank you.
Tim, what you got, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to see Josh. Good to meet you, man. Thanks for being here. When did you get the 2 Comma Club award? And what do you think was like the biggest one of the biggest keys that help you get there, stay consistent to get there?
2 Comma Club award. I got it on stage last year, a year and a half ago. I earned it 3 years ago, give or take. What got me there? Honestly, it was keep trying everything until I found what worked. That was it. In terms of from a sales perspective. So I kept going. I started different agencies, different businesses, but more importantly, I kept investing in myself. That would be the biggest thing. If I lost everything today, I'll find the person who I can pay the most money to, who has the best results, and I'll join this program.
Okay.
That was really the biggest thing. From a personal development standpoint, like I said, the more selling you can do, the better. And the higher packages you can sell, the more money you make.
Yeah, right? Man, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I started selling higher packages.
Fire. Who else? Anybody else got a question? Skylar, what you got, man?
Hey, so hey, first off, yeah, thank you so much for being here, dropping bars, man. I appreciate it, Joshua. I'd like to just know like how you kind of present yourself within like the first 5 minutes to, you know, help yourself be successful throughout the rest of your presentation.
Great question. Why did they join the call? So it's always 2 questions I ask. It's called the 2 question opening, okay? So let's say the name of the offer was the King Pistachio Farmer offer. And I'm being silly, okay? So my question is, hey, Jim, how's it going? This is Josh. Out of curiosity, I know you've been to other calls and y'all couldn't cut it. This call's going to be different. Would you just like me to show you how you can be the best cookie cutter pistachio maker in North America? Would that be okay with you? And they'll say, of course, that's okay. Yeah, let's do it. Now you got them pumped because you've elicited expectation. Then you say, okay, great. If I show you how to do it, do you promise to do exactly what I tell you to do? And they say, yes, I do. Now you've elicited commitment. You give them expectation, you give them commitment. So now during the call, the rest of the process is showing them exactly what's going to get them from where they are to where they want to be. And I say, listen, in the beginning of the call, I asked you 1 question, Jim. How to be the best pistachio farmer in America. Based on what I showed you, do you believe, keyword, do you believe this can get you to be there? This can get you to be the best pistachio farmer? They'll say, yes, awesome. Well, you know, usually I don't do this, right? But I believe you're a good fit for our program. we have a X amount investment package, but if you're ready to go right now, okay, I can put my reputation on the line for you with the team and we can get you started. The investment is usually X, but today I can get you in for Y. Would that be Visa or MasterCard? Then go on mute. Don't say anything else after that because you can't interrupt your thinking process. So that's my beginning. That's my closing.
Love that.
Cold. That's cold.
Way cold. Very assumptive. Thank you, Joshua.
You're welcome. Guys, you already know why they're on the call. They
Yeah.
booked the call. The counter probably said X enrollment call, so enrollment call. Whatever they booked the call for, that's what you ask them. Hey, are you interested in becoming that person? Because guess what? They're there for themselves, not for you. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. If they're there for themselves, then just ask them, hey, do you want to become this person you're on the call to become? Yes. Okay, can I help become that person? Yes. Those are pretty simple questions to answer that doesn't take a lot of brain work for the prospect.
Wow.
That's good. That's good, Josh. That's good.
Yeah.
What else? Anybody else got a question? Gee, hey, I think you left everybody speechless, Josh.
Let's not do that.
Some questions,
Yeah.
man. They're like, their brains are turning, man.
No, but and I want you guys to notice something, right? You guys are in this call. There's about 46 people here. Would you guys have agreed that I've created an environment of buying on this call? Yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Most likely, if I made an offer right now, would I close at least half the room? Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Give me a
Sure.
PDF with your
For
close.
sure. For sure.
Yeah, it's that easy, right?
Yeah.
I made you guys laugh. I elicited emotion. I became vulnerable. I told you guys about something I went through, not having fun with the ladies, and pick up lines that you guys have probably heard before. And if you guys are on the phone that you've probably never used, but you've heard other people. Okay, right? And it's because at the end of the day, we're all humans and we're all emotional bodies. So if you can tap into that emotion, you're going to create that environment. And then in the environment of buying takes care of itself. That's it. So if I have to focus on one thing, is how do I create that environment? I've given you guys the recipe. Practice it in your pitches. Practice it in your conversation with the prospect. If the prospect tries to veer off the left, hey, no, that's not interesting. That reminds me of Jeremy. I remember he had the same question, right? And he was scared shitless because, this was the last dollar he had to his name to join our program, right? And these were the emotions he was feeling. And after we helped him, he said that was the best decision he's ever made because X, Y, and Z, right? So what I did with my programs, I collected those stories, but more importantly, I collected the emotions of those stories. It's not just enough like, oh, we let Jim make $100,000 in a month. That's cool, but a lot of people can have a similar testimonial where you can say, we made Jim feel like a father for the first time in his life. That's a story that you cannot overcome. That's an emotion that a human can connect with. Just like, wow, a father, he said that? Oh, for sure. I'm going to play the testimonial for you. Here he is right here. Let me send you the link so you can watch it and hear it. Oh my goodness, he did that? Bro, I'm convinced, man. I want to support you guys. How can I sign up? Okay, I'll have Amy send my paperwork. We'll get this going.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Good stuff.
Wow.
Rinse and
So
repeat.
you have a virtual assistant then, huh?
I do. I have several. In the
Nice.
Philippines, yeah. And you can get it from anywhere. Philippines, Fiverr, Upwork, it doesn't even matter. You show them how to send contracts for you, dial them in, and just have them send it. And you can pay them per contract. So you don't have to pay them per hour. You can say, for every contract you send for me, I'll pay you $2.50. You can say, hey, I'm a salesperson. I take 20 to 40 calls a week, 20 to 50 calls a month, whatever volume you're taking. That's the extra $150 for you a month for just sending a piece of paper. They'll happily take that offer.
Nice.
Yeah,
Dude, that's sweet.
yeah, buddy.
Good God.
Yes, indeed.
It's been a powerful call.
Man, this is Jedi shit right here. Good.
And because you guys are so cool, I'm gonna
Yes,
leave you guys with one more gem, right? And I love this. This quote right here. This is from the treasure chest. Do I have enough time to share, Bobby? Is that
Yeah,
cool?
yeah, man. You got as much time as you need, man.
All right. When I use this close, it makes me almost want to cry because it happened to me, right? So as entrepreneurs, where we're trying to make it, a lot of, and you know, Bongani is the one who actually triggered this in me. So thank you, Bongani, for sharing what she just shared, right? A lot of times when you're trying to make it through the entrepreneur journey, you feel like you're doing a lot of things and maybe it's working, you're seeing some progress, but you know, it's a slow grind. And I tell people this, I said, listen, I wanted to be honest with you right now. If you join this program, a lot of people are going to not understand. But here's what I want you to understand. Do you have a piece of paper with you? Right, to take notes? Awesome. And I'm going to pull up the whiteboard real quick, if you allow me to do that. And I tell them to do this on their piece of paper. Okay, can you guys see this whiteboard?
Yep.
Can I tell them this? I say, listen, multiplication and math seem the same in the beginning. What do I mean by that? Okay, what's 2 plus 2?
4.
4. What's 2 times 2?
4.
You starting this investment journey is you multiplying your life, your finances, your effectiveness, and your family legacy. But guess what? Not everybody's going to understand. And in the beginning, it's going to look like you're on the right path as everybody else. But guess what? Just 1 month later, because you can start seeing results in 30 days, or 1 year later, because you can start seeing results in a year, your life will look significantly different than everybody else. How do I know that? What's 2 plus 3?
5.
What's 2 times 3?
6.
In 1 year, your life will be 20 to 30% better than your counterparts. But you have to be willing to start. So don't be discouraged if everything looks the same. Just know that you're taking action right now. That you're going to be 50 times richer, better looking, smarter, more communicative, more confident than anybody else. Now, can I sign you up for that program? I'll close the whiteboard. But that always gets me, right? Honestly, it always gets me here because a lot of my friends are like, oh, Josh, you're doing sales? Oh, sales people are scammers. I'm like, sales is the tonality. Yeah, that's another big one. Yeah, sales is one of the biggest things you can do to help humanity. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Like, that's not just a line. Right? Because sales helped my life. If my coach never sold me, I would have never had $1 million in a day, or 4 of them to be the least. So when I sell my prospect, I'm happy to sell them because I'm selling them life transformation. And Scott, you start talking about the tonality. When I'm focused on the story, parable, principle, the tonality takes care of itself because I'm in the state of emotion. I don't have to physically think about it. It just happens automatically. See, I'm here about to cry in front of 40 grown men on a Wednesday afternoon. But yeah, man, I hope that helps you guys. Any other questions and where I can be of service, please let me know. I can answer those questions, and then I'll hand it over back to Bobby.
Nobody?
I do.
Skylar, what you got?
Quick question. One more. So as far as we talked about your success, right? As far as getting to the steps to it, did you use like ClickFunnels or WordPress or something like that to build a landing page, and then did your Facebook ads to reach those numbers, or what really targeted you or catapulted you to that level, if you will?
So ClickFunnels for sure. I built a funnel on ClickFunnels, and then of course I read ads. I went on podcasts, things of that nature. But guys, let me tell you this: content is your best friend. The more content you put out there, the better. Literally, places like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, these are all places where they're giving you free audiences. And if you have something good to say and you say it often, people are going to pay attention, especially around the area of making money. Okay. So I can do another lesson just on YouTube and creating YouTube thumbnails, but you want to create thumbnails, and content that elicit emotion. If you go to my page at Josh Cashflow, I have 50,000 subscribed followers, whatever the case may be. I created a reel recently, and the real title was How Leftovers is a Mindset Dipped in Poverty. And people were going crazy. Oh my gosh, how's this true? That's not crazy. I wanted to be polarizing on purpose, and that brought more followers, more attention, more viewers to my page that can share my message.
Wow.
Yeah. So in all your speaking, the same techniques apply when you're giving the speech, when you're doing a TikTok or YouTube or IG,
Content,
emotion.
thumbnails.
My thumbnails just have the title of the video on it. Y'all can go check out some of my videos on IG at Josh Cashflow. That's a good one to start, to go take a look at.
I just added you, boss man.
Oh, thank you. Y'all on IG, y'all follow me. You guys will see I'm gonna drop another video tomorrow, right? With just intention, creating polarity, tapping into emotion.
Josh, who are some people that you studied and learned from?
Ooh, that's a good one. So if you have to read a book, You Squared by Price Pritchett, that's a good one. It's 36 pages, it's a small pamphlet. You can read it literally in a day. Byron Golden, I don't know if you guys ever heard of him.
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, he's a coach of mine. Price Pritchett. I'll type the book in the chat. Price Pritchett, You Squared is the name of the book. Amazing book. Another person I learned from a lot is Miles Monroe. I like the way he speaks, right? I love his tonality, his diction. The guy Jim Rohn, I love Jim Rohn. Right?
Yes, I do.
Jim Rohn, I listen to a lot of Jim Rohn.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah. And the reason I listen to these people, and people don't realize this, is if you listen to a speaker long enough, there's a study that was done that if you listen to a speaker long enough, you start to talk like them. But not only do you talk like them, you elicit the same brain synapses the day you listen to it when they were giving that message. So when I listen to a speaker I admire over and over and over again, I start creating the feelings that they were feeling, the thought process they were listening when they were giving that speech. So that's why one thing I do, I like to memorize speeches and stories. Right? I like to memorize them and then I give them over and over and over again. That's another tip you guys can use as well.
Skylar, what'd you have, man?
I was actually going to ask that same thing, kind of like, success leaves clues, like what do you study and who's your influences? So, but, no, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, that book You Squared, thank me later. Thank me later. It's literally 30 pages, a small pamphlet. I read it at least once a year. It's like, it's gold.
Which one? Which one?
You Squared by Price Pritchett.
You squared.
Yeah, You Squared by Price Pritchett. I'll drop the link from Amazon if in the chat so you guys can find it. You Squared, Price Pritchett. A high velocity formula for multiplying your personal effectiveness in quantum. Nice. That's a mouthful. You guys can see. But yeah, it's a 36-page book. And it's a must read. Another good one, if you like Bible stuff, success principles in the Bible. That's a good one as well. That's a good one to read as well. I'm pretty sure you guys have already heard Think and Grow Rich. But I like using that book a lot because the title in itself tells you what you're supposed to do. Thinking. The hardest work most people never do is to think. And the more you think about what you're going to do, the richer you can actually become. Right? So that's a really good one to listen to, especially towards the latter chapters that give a lot of practical steps that you can take to actually increase your wealth in a shorter period of time.
Awesome.
What do you feel the most valuable lesson you've learned from Byron Golden?
Most valuable lesson. It's easier to make a whole lot of money in a little bit of time than a little bit of money in a lot of time. That was the biggest for me because I was like, wait, I can make more. So I'll give an example of my coaching program. I teach people how to trade options, obviously. Before I was selling my product for $97. And we were having crazy testimonials. A lady paid off her wedding, people changed their lives, and we were still selling for 97. And Myron almost slapped me and said, tomorrow, if you don't charge 6K, I'm dropping you as a client. So I reluctantly did it. I was like, $97 is 6K. Will people complain? And I just said $6,000, and people was like, okay. Somebody on the call said, that's it. I was like, what do you mean that's it? Like in my head, I was like, what? And I was literally shaking as I was setting up in the contract for $6,000, right? And then what I just learned is about money is like, it is what it is. If you have a laissez-faire attitude about it and the value is there, people will catch on that emotion and will respond in same, right? So just believe in yourself, believe in what you're selling. I never in my life would think I could sell a 50K package or 125K package, but now I do it, right?
Josh, I have a question.
Was it Myron Golden? Oh, I'm sorry.
What is one of the people, one of the coaches that you follow or that you met, that or one of your mentors, what is one of the lines that you got out of something you've heard from them that has made you money, or that you implemented that made you money, and how did you use it in your everyday successes? Like what was one thing that you that Mike always says that he gets coaches and just one line that they tell him and he implements it. What was one from one of the coaches that you've had that you used and it made you successful?
That's a good question. Like a line that they gave me, or like an action step that they gave me?
Yeah, like just something that you heard them like in like a coaching or like a personal development. You're listening to them, it's like their biography or whatever. Just one thing that that I got to use that, and you used it, like, and it helped in your success.
That's such a. If I had to sum up a lot of it in one word, it would be the word leverage. How can I increase my leverage for the same amount of work, right? And it spills over into that saying of making a lot of money in a little bit of time. I'll give you an example of leverage that I've done, right? Okay. So I said something to a prospect like, listen, it's a 6K program. You can get it today for 5K under one condition, okay? As you get results, you have to promise to introduce a friend or a family member to this same thing and help them become a student. And through that, we've been able to grow our coaching program 2 times over.
Nice. Okay. Thank you.
So that's a great one you can use.
It's sometimes difficult when you're listening to a lot of people, and a lot of them are saying different things, but they're saying the same thing. You know what I mean? And it's hard to grasp sometimes. That's why I'm asking you, like, what has been like the particular thing that you heard that just you went boom, a light bulb went off, and you went boom, I got to use that, because that's huge.
No, exactly. And that's why I said what I said, because that's a very direct, actionable step you can use on the sales call.
Yeah.
That whole principle of being able to make a whole lot of money in a little bit of time is so fundamental to everything I do. Is so crazy. So for me, I try to, get my clients what's going to give them the best results. And sometimes that can be the higher level package. Sometimes I get them to enroll a friend or a sister or things of that nature. It really depends on the situation. What you have to ask yourself, getting an assistant to help me as well, is just what is your personal leverage that you can leverage that you're uniquely skilled at that can get you better results with your clients? Because you're a closer now, but you had a background before that. And the mistake that I made when I was starting, I didn't use the skills I learned from my background to make the way I sell uniquely different than anybody else. If you can do that, you unlock gold for yourself, seriously. So what did you used to do before you were a closer? Or what's some of your past experience?
Me?
Yes, you.
I've been unemployed for 30 years. I have a rare arthritic disease in my spine, so I haven't worked in so long. And when the pandemic hit, I was looking for something to do online, because I saw all these entrepreneurs and all these gurus saying, oh, make money online, do this, do this, do this. And I lost a lot of money. And I saw Mike in the beginning of the pandemic, and I clicked off his ass. I was like, who the hell is this dude, right? And I just like got rid of him. And then like when the pandemic started, we started going out again. We were stopped wearing the masks and stuff. I saw Mike again, and I was intrigued, and boom, it hit me. So I signed up for the academy. I got closed. You know, Brandon Jorgensen closed me. I don't know if you know who that is. He closed me, and I went through the academy, and I finished it in 2 months. And I started closing, but I asked a lot of questions, and I was told, don't ask questions to the Mike's partner. He's busy. But I kept asking questions, and he gave me an opportunity, took me from the academy basically, and took me to setting appointments for his in-person personal training. And I'm killing it in setting appointments, man. I'm the baddest. I'm the fucking best. I'll tell you that right now. I'm the fucking best.
You see that? I love that.
I set 10 fucking appointments every fucking day. I'm on the phone constantly, and it's something I do. It's a passion of mine that I have. And there's other opportunities that are coming for me. I mean, I'm going to be starting to close again, or start getting back into the closing, because I started out as a closer setter for Health is Wealth Academy for Miguel De La Rosa, and it was hard because I was the only closer setter. I was just started with them, and I was brand new at the academy, and I was like scared to death, and I was asking so many questions that it gave me an opportunity to do something else with Miguel De La Rosa, which made me a master setter. I'm a master setter for appointments for in-person personal training, and I've mastered it. I know I have. And
perfect. So
now, go ahead.
So let me just interrupt you. Okay. And after all you just said, you just added to the end. So would you like me to show you what took me from being unemployed for 30 years to making the money I make now?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. You just closed the client just by sharing your personal story. Your story of perseverance makes you uniquely different as a closer than everybody else on this call.
Right.
Right. So take that story, bottle it up, and you need to use it now in all your setting, all your closes from today forward. As long as we shall live, okay? You need to include that how you set and how you close, because that makes you unique, different than everybody else on this call. So for everybody here, what is your unique experience? What brought you here? Because how you got closed is how you're going to close other people.
Yeah, for sure.
It's as simple as that.
Awesome. All right, Josh, it was a pleasure to have you, man. You definitely brought the fire, as I knew you would, right? After all of our exchanges that we've had over the past month and a half or so, I knew you'd bring it, man. And I appreciate you. I know everybody here appreciates you. And if there's anything we can do for you, man, you just let me know.
Now, you've been helpful. You're a real one, Bobby. Honestly, we're always texting back and forth. Such a genuine person. You guys are definitely in the right environment. Listen, guys, always be closing, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, guys, that wraps it up for today. Josh, we appreciate you. Let's give him a round of applause. I know everybody appreciates it.
Thanks, big man.